Me.
I say I'm gonna lay it right on the line. A dollar bill is a friend of mine. We need money. I'm talking about money. Hey, credit.
Money 2.0 presents In the Now, the premier show for entrepreneurs, business owners, and business leaders. With marketing experts Brandon Hintz and Mike Driggers. Get ready to unleash and launch because they're going to blow your mind. Now, here are Brandon Hintz and Mike Driggers on Money 105.5.
Money 105.5.
In the Now.
Good morning, good afternoon,
Good evening. Depending on when you're listening
the
to
late
this
night
episode. How's everybody today?
The question that people ask.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Fantastic and improving. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Or, hey, what's going on in your life? Always the questions that you throw out there that you're like, I wonder what kind of response I'm going to get, or am I even listening? I hate it when I walk through a hallway and someone says, "How you doing today?" And they just keep walking.
right. They don't stop.
They're not trying to
They don't
stop and
care.
talk
It's
to me.
just
They're
like,
not "Hey, how you really doing today?"
it's like you're programmed.
I just respond back, "How are you?"
Yeah.
I
think-
think there's no response coming back. You're just kind of done.
I think I like what you do. And I've actually started doing this because it totally throws people is where, how are you doing? What's your best part of your day today? So
Yeah.
it forces them to get outside of just saying, oh, I'm good. Right.
Yeah, we started doing that at home too because you go to the dinner table and you ask your kids, "How was your day today?" "Oh, it was good." Then the conversation's over. Then you got to pry even deeper. But if you can take some kind of comment and narrow it down to a specific, like, "What's your biggest goal today?"
Yeah.
Then they actually have to answer something that they have either not planned it yet or they have planned it and they don't really know what they're going to do. So they're like, "Well, my biggest challenge today was to get to this appointment on time." So how are you, Mike?
I am good. I'm good. I'm still trying to recover off of my, ammonia experience and trying to get better health. But I'm plugging along, man. I'm having a great day. Had a great week and got some great stuff going on. I know we've been working on some really cool stuff for folks.
Yeah, I mean, we got some crazy stuff going on. We're adding some new courses to our lineup, our sales funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And we've really been dissecting who these courses are for because over the last 7 years, we've taught a lot of courses directly made for the business owner, entrepreneur on how to design their business to gain their life. But when you look at that, we're putting together marketing courses, mindset courses that are specifically made for someone.
Yeah.
We call them our wow clients, the perfect client. So in general, I was always told to stop saying that on the radio or in your TV, in your podcast, on your webinars, to not use in general. My wife was a communications major. She's like, "Don't ever use in general." And I seem to slip it out every once in a while. Like, in general? No, it's not in general. Specifically, the client that we are looking for in these courses are our wow clients. They're not in general. They're not spread out. Marketing's not for everyone for this course. It's made for someone.
Which I think brings us to why we today, our conversation is the perfect client, where I'm going to interview you
Exactly.
and how to get there. But you're right, marketing's not for everybody; it's for somebody, right?
Yeah, and we learned this early too. So it's like you could market and do the thing they call scorch the earth and put out the ad, the bench board, the billboard, the TV commercial, the radio commercial. There's so much PR out there that you can do to market something.
Mm-hmm.
But are you just hitting everyone? Or could you narrow that down and focus it right to the client you want to attract? And whoever steps into that fishing area may get caught by the hook, but they weren't your perfect client, but yet they will learn something too. But your ideal clients, the people who feel your vibe and become part of your tribe, that's your wow client. And it doesn't matter if you're a dentist, if you're a retail store, you know who your wow client is when they walk through the door and you're excited about seeing them and they're repeat customers.
Yeah.
And even identifying who you're going after nails the marketing down to more of a straight, pungent, bam. That's who I'm going for.
Yeah. So before we get into kind of how someone can identify, and there's different ways, and we'll talk about that, but share with the audience, because a lot of people, especially someone new that's listening now, they don't know who you are. right? Who's Brandon Hintz? What's your background? How'd you even get to this point? Why don't you share with the folks a little bit about that? Like, where did you come from? And then we'll talk about how you discovered some things that led you to identifying for everything that we do moving forward the perfect client. So
Yeah, so I come from a little small town called Sacramento.
yeah, it's pretty small.
Really small. A lot of auto malls, some
Yeah.
chain restaurants. Really a lot of fun. But as I grew up, my mom moved me up into the mountains, into Placerville and Pollock Pines, and even further up into like Fresh Pond area where we were growing up, young kids in the mountains. And there was a lot of freedom back then, right?
Yeah.
So you could get on your bike and ride down to the store, which was 2 miles away on a one lane road, and you knew everybody in town. So we had a lot of freedom, and everywhere I went, I found opportunity to work.
Mm.
And going through neurolinguistics, I learned something about myself as an entrepreneur that started early for me. That I learned how to stop at the pizza place and crush boxes, and I would earn a free pizza that I could use that day or another day, and $2 in quarters to play video games. And I was like, cha-ching! They're gonna feed me and pay me money.
Life is great.
So starting out as an entrepreneur was young for me. It was like literally the 5th grade, riding my bike around to these hamburger joints and these stores and pizza places. And hey, so-and-so's paying me this to do that. What would you do for that? And all of a sudden I had 3 jobs.
Oh, right on.
And just started working through it. But as I got older, I got into marketing and sales, and I did a lot of award-winning sales campaigns and marketing campaigns, and broke some records as a salesperson that by using the techniques that I had been taught by mentors and other sales representatives. I'm always the firm believer in, if you see somebody doing what you want to do, then go find out how they did it. Don't envy them or resent them. Just go right up to them and say, hey, I love what you're doing, and I think that I would like to do that. What would be your key points for me?
Yeah.
And that's how I learned all these techniques, is that I'm a firm believer in getting a mentor, finding someone who's been where you want to go, and find out. And I mean, even recently in some of the courses I've taken, that people are teaching the same practices. So Russell Brunson, we all know, is the master of these sales funnels that he teaches. And he tells you right off the bat, stop taking all the arrows in your own back. Research your competitor, find out what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then do your own. Don't plagiarize it. Don't steal their campaign. Model it.
Sure.
Find a way that model works for your campaign, for your perfect client. How are they going to be helping you to grow your business?
So when you started learning some of these principles, and I know that you were managing a sales team in the mortgage industry, and then you got into advertising, and you were working with some major clients. What were some of the things that you started to discover on why someone wants the perfect client, and then how to go about getting it?
So, and me and you talked a lot about this in our courses, and we teach
Sure.
this really big in Design It, is that I started learning that the research is done before the campaign is launched. And I had a lot of campaigns where they would call me and say, okay, present this. We want you to do this. And I'd say, have you asked your client? No, we pretty much know what they want. Well, I'd like to ask them. I'd like to survey them. I'd like to find out what they want. So the biggest thing for me in marketing is ask your client what they want and then give it to them.
Yeah, which a lot of small business, medium-sized businesses, they don't do this. The major corporations, they spend millions of dollars on focus groups and surveys. Even like recently, like I stayed at the hospital in Kaiser, and for the ammonia. And yesterday I got something in the mail from them, which was a survey of how the overall experience was. Right. So major corporations, they spend a ton of money to really narrow down their ideal client. And I think for small businesses, they don't do this. Even for if you're in a sales position, you could have better quality of clients, a higher conversion, and make more money if you know who your wow client is.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that. And when you started discovering and started doing surveys, what were some of the things you experienced, and then, case studies maybe?
So basically, when I started surveying, I realized that as a sales team, as a salesperson, that I was so caught up in what the sales training was, that isn't what the client was looking for. The value they got was the unique presentation the salesperson brought to the table, how they actually laid out the benefits. So the surveys came back and we'd say, like, what was the biggest value you got from working with your representative? He was very attentive and walked me through the steps versus selling me. He educated me. So we started realizing that our key unique value was education. So the surveys became great. And then we started realizing that that was our perfect client. We didn't just want the fast in, fast out close. We wanted clients that wanted to be educated on the process and move them forward. So when we come back from the break, I'll basically let you know, like, there's some actual procedures that you take to find these wow clients so that when you get up in the morning and you look at your calendar and you're like, oh my gosh, Mike's on my calendar today. These are the clients that I want to work with. You'll know how to do it. Have you ever heard the statement, mindset is everything? I believe this statement to be true. If you're ready to grow in your business or you're trying to change things in your life, mindset is key. I'm Brandon Hintz, and I've helped thousands of my clients set their mindset in the right direction to allow them to achieve their goals and to make changes in their lives. You can have what you want. Let's stop the limiting beliefs that are holding you back with my help. Go to askbrandonforfree.com. That's askbrandonforfree.com.
Now back to In the Now with Brandon Hintz and Mike Driggers on Money 105.5's Money 2.0.
And we're back.
Yeah.
1055.
In the Now with Mike Driggers and Brandon Hintz. Woohoo!
The fun stuff.
So we left a commercial real quick, and we were getting into surveying your clients. Kind of talk more, go back into detail about why that's important. And then what are some of the things you started learning when you started doing these surveys?
Well, we all see the surveys that have the little check boxes, rate your overall experience, 1 to 5, and you all click 5, 5, 5, and then finally you're like, oh, that one was a 3. You don't really learn much about that other than the actual dynamic of the team that they're surveying for. I like to ask open-ended questions where somebody can actually type them out, and I like to keep my surveys between 1 to 2 questions, 3 at the most, unless I'm offering a reward for it, like take this survey and we'll send you a Starbucks card, whatever that is, because these surveys are more important than the actual marketing money that you're spending. Because once you know what a client wants, then you can really hone down to what you need to give them. So the survey is very important to learn some basic aspects about your client, what the value they're receiving from you is, and let it be in their own words. But what's mainly important is knowing the wow clients you already have. So if you just think about it for a moment and you picture that Jimmy in the red BMW that comes into your office and how he acts with you, how much fun you guys have, how much business production gets done, or the person that comes in every Saturday for the same yogurt and is very consistent and very happy, and just think about that client for a moment. What value do you bring to that client? What are you doing in their life? So I always use the example of the yogurt shop because it takes it down to the bare bone minimum of what the customer interaction is, right? They come through the door, they get their yogurt, they pay, they leave. But if in that interaction, there's a value point that gives that person fun and gives you joy by talking with them for that 1 to 2 minute interaction, then those wow clients are what you want more of. And those are the people that you want to look at. What if everyone came through with a nice, funny statement every day, and that's what you posted in your social media to attract more of those people? Because if you look in your neighborhood, it's the same people, right? You got the doctor, the lawyer, the business owner, the contractor. They're all the houses pretty much do the same thing over and over again, even through levels of wealth, high wealth, low wealth, all the way through. The people, the stereotype of the neighborhood's the same. So you're going to attract the same type of people in your marketing too. If you're really focusing on the people who like to have fun to come to your business, then you're going to draw more of them. It's the whole affirmations that are going on. If you put it out there, what's that show? If you build it,
They will come.
they will come.
Yeah, that was a movie.
If you build it.
Field of Dreams, I think is what it was called.
Yeah,
right?
Kevin Costner. I think we watched it again recently when we were up in Tahoe.
Yeah.
And it's true. If you build something around what you originally started, the why you started your business. If you're a counselor, you started to help a certain person. If you opened up a pizza place, you wanted to deliver this pie to somebody who really enjoyed it. Find out who that wow person is and then dissect them.
Yeah, I mean, really get into, we talk about this during the design it, really getting into the identity of who this individual is, both men and women. First, you're dealing with two different personality types, right, and emotions, and so you've got certain colors attract to males and females, and you really got to identify and break down the avatar. And I talk about this story about AOL when they first came to market. Who was their target audience? They had done surveys and research and focus groups, and what they discovered is that the ideal client was the stay-at-home mom, right? It wasn't an engineer. It wasn't somebody, a techie type of person. And so when they started sending out these discs, they were the same color of Tide, because back then Tide was the big popular soap
Oh yeah.
for stay-at-home moms. And so they would send these discs that had this natural warm feeling that they're already comfortable with. I mean, that's how detailed they would get into. And I think it's important for folks, as you're talking about this, and especially in the surveys, that first you know your customer, really identify, and you start honing in with these surveys, because from there you can find out what they're saying, right? And then use that in your messaging. So a couple examples that you may want to throw out, like in the case studies, as you were doing surveys, you started seeing patterns.
Yep.
And what were some of those patterns?
I mean, in the surveys, you're going to learn a lot about your perfect client. So one time we had a dentist that came to us and said, I want to do these healthy teeth and gums. All the surveys out there say that's what's so important to everybody, and that's the marketing that we want to do. So I said, can we split test it? And they were kind of adamant, like, we really want to push this. So in a marketing campaign, you give the clients what they want, and then you teach them what they need, right? So in general, I said, okay. Oh, there it goes again. Did you hear that?
In general.
I said in general again.
Stop that.
Sorry, babe. But I realized that, okay, you give them what they want, and then you teach them what they need. So when we did a split campaign, I said, I'm going to survey the last 6 months of your clients and find out what value they got from you, okay? So all these things came back, the surveys. The marketing campaign for Healthy Teeth and Gums is running. It's working. I mean, we build good campaigns, they will drive people, right? But it was more gathering everybody. People were filling out applications about insurance, and all this stuff was coming through. Then we put one out from the survey. The survey came back, same day services. If something was wrong with your teeth that day, they fixed it right then and there. They didn't book another appointment. They had enough staff there to make it happen right then and there, unless it was something major. But the whole thing was literally, out of the 40-something people that responded, it was over 60% all about the same day service and how there was no waiting time in the front. You got there, you got in, you got your service done, and if there was something needed to be done, it was service that day. So then we put out a marketing campaign saying same day service. On site, same day. If there's a problem, we take care of it. The marketing was more narrowed down. Yes, less responses, right? The bigger campaign is bringing in 100 responses. This one's bringing in 30, but these 30 people are booking appointments. So when you narrow down to the people who want to work with you and that are getting value out of you, you get more value, your business is more sustainable, and you're going to have more repeat customers coming through. So you want to look at that overall perspective of this perfect client, making you happy and having happy clients. Because what if every day you came in, it was the exact client you wanted to be with?
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. I the biggest point I think I got out of there, and I think our listeners should get from there, is one, you know your audience, obviously people, and it could be male, female, at a certain age, they need their teeth done. But the message that came back to be able to communicate to that same audience outside of your current database was that same day appointment. There's a lot of people out there that are searching for maybe that, or they all of a sudden had a toothache and they had remembered about, hey, same day service, right? And so then that builds that clientele base, and you're getting to, if you're targeting a message to that ideal client, ages 20 to 40 or whatever, male, executive or management level, whatever is the identification. Now you're exposing and delivering what they want to hear.
Yeah, the subconscious mind is reading it right away.
Yeah, and they're picking it up.
If you have a bunch of people, I mean, think about everyone listening right now. If you had a problem with your tooth that was discovered that day, do you want to wait 4 weeks to look at it again?
Yeah.
No. You want it just taken care of. Oh, I'm here now. Let's just do it. And if you don't have that service currently, and your dentist actually stopped for a moment and said, you want to just take care of that right now? You'd be thrown off a little bit, like, oh, really? We're not booking it out for 3 more weeks?
Yeah.
I would love to do it right now. Now, when I said when you tell your clients when they tell you what they want, and then you teach them what they need, that's a definite process you have to go through when you're working with clients who have this thing set in mind. But when you start realizing and bringing to the attention, we're a business that serves people, and these people want something. They want a value service level from you, and that's why they keep coming back. When you identify that, then it identifies who your perfect client is, and that's when you actually start deep diving. So for this exercise of a perfect client, I want everyone just to identify the last time you had fun with the client. It was great, the service, the fulfillment, everything was there. Maybe you were even laughing in there, and then write that client's name down. And then write what the biggest value they got from working with you. And write down all the things about them. So step one, write down who they were and what kind of value they got. Then in the second part of the exercise, what might have happened if they had never worked with you? The value that they received. What if they would have never worked with you? What if that person would have never came into the dentist that day and 2 weeks later the tooth is cracking and it's falling out? Now, you can't just say they would have went to another dentist. What would they have lost that they value if they wouldn't have worked with you as that perfect client coming into your office that day? And just looking at those two, what value did they get? And what might they have lost if they hadn't worked with you? Could they have lost a date? Using that tooth example, let's say that tooth was in pain and they waited 2 or 3 days, didn't go in, or the doctor booked it out for 4 weeks, and all of a sudden you're going to dinner and that thing cracks in half at a dinner and you have to leave the date.
Or emergency, or even losing work day.
Yeah.
Because you're such in pain.
So looking at those two factors will give you a good representation of why that client comes to you. It also establishes your value as a customer, as a business. I helped them do this, and if they hadn't come to me, they would have never achieved this. And that's a big one in all the industries, from real estate to dental to yogurt shops. What if that guy coming into the yogurt shop every Saturday, all of a sudden you weren't there? And that was part of his ritual. In the long run, he might find another yogurt shop down the road a little ways, but really what it looks at is your business. What unique value are you bringing? And then when you have these perfect clients, identify them. So if Mike's my perfect client, I want to know what headphones he wears. What kind of car does he drive? Does he wear striped shirts? Are they high-end shirts? Does he wear suits? What is it about this guy that I could know everything about him? Where does he hang out in social media? Is Mike a blogger?
What magazines?
Is he on the radio show?
Yeah.
What does he do? Does he read certain books? Because that'll start narrowing down where your perfect clients are. And after looking at this exercise, 1 or 2 clients, you'll start seeing similarities.
Yeah. Personality types even.
Yeah.
Which on a show we've got coming up here in the next couple of weeks is about that. But even knowing the type of content that you deliver, if you deliver to a social personality a huge amount of documents and it's overwhelming, that sales cycle is going to take a long time, or you even lose the customer. But someone that's analytical, they love that stuff. They'll read it.
That's why we're narrowing this down. We're talking about surveying perfect client. And if you go to the designitcourse.com, you can watch some of the testimonials of the people who have been coming to the show, or actually to the workshops, and learning how to deep dive into these. So go to designitcourse.com, take a look at it, and when we come back from the break, we're going to dive a little deeper.
Mike Driggers and Brandon Hintz, and In the Now on Money Talk 105.5. We'll see you in a bit.
They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Or how about the one that says, mindset is everything? I truly believe both these statements. If you're looking to grow in your life or your business, then something's got to change. Stop the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Hi, I'm Brandon Hintz, and I've helped thousands of my clients do just that. Stop being controlled by limiting beliefs and patterns that don't suit you anymore. Join me at askbrandonforfree.com. That's askbrandonforfree.com.
Snoring. It's not funny, and it's definitely not normal. It's actually a sign that you're not breathing properly while you sleep. And you're probably ruining your partner's sleep as well. If you have a blocked or narrow nose, then you're more likely to open your mouth to breathe, resulting in the loud, noisy sounds of snoring. But now, thanks to an Australian innovation called Mute, the answer to your snoring problem may be right under your nose. Mute is an easy-to-use and comfortable nasal dilator that sits inside the nose and supports your airway, keeping it open while you sleep. It helps you breathe more easily through your nose, so you can keep your mouth closed. In trials, 75% of couples reported a reduction in snoring when using Mute, allowing them both to enjoy a better night's sleep. Mute is available now at Walgreens, GNC, or your local drugstore. Find your nearest store at mutesnoring.com. Mute. Breathe more, snore less, sleep better.
Make this the year you become a homeowner. Hi, Phil Cowan for Eric McKay and the good people at Essex Mortgage. What sets Eric apart from other mortgage lenders is that he's not a salesman. He's an educator. His goal is to get you a loan that best suits your needs, not the bank's. And Essex is a direct lender, so all decisions are made in-house. And if you think home ownership is not in the cards for you because you don't have the cash for a down payment, think again. Eric's got several programs that can assist with a down payment. If you're a vet, Essex Mortgage is the area's premier VA lender. And if you're over 62, they also offer reverse mortgages for refinance and purchase. Call Eric McKay today at Essex Mortgage and get pre-approved. 916-806-0606. That's 806-0606. Or find them online at reallifelending.com. Essex Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS 70377, BRE 9360013, DOC 603G833, Eric McKay 288343.
Now back to In the Now with Brandon Hintz and Mike Driggers on Money 105.5's Money 2.0.
Hello and welcome back. So we've been talking about the perfect client, your wow client, and how to survey them. Today I'm interviewing Brandon Hintz, my co-host. And to share with folks out here, we thought it would be something, since we've been working on some stuff for identifying our ideal client and our wow client for our courses, Design It and Instant Authority Now, and we've got a couple more coming down the pipeline. We thought, well, we should go into this. And so before we went to break, Brandon was talking about, he had done some surveys and he started learning that the messaging, once they've identified the avatar, and you did 3-question surveys that were open-ended, right? And which, by the way, if they wanted to get those questions, they could go to...
you can go to the Now Academy right on the front page and download Survey to Success for free. You could also get it on BrandonHintz.com. And I believe we even have it on InTheNowRadio.com.
Yeah, so you can go there and download and actually see...
our survey process.
The survey process. We actually
it's one of our biggest
teach
things. We give it away because we've known the impact that this brings to businesses. Now, let's step back a step and say, okay, think about the last time you saw a really cool car. And you're like, wow, look at that red car. I've never seen that car before. It's so beautiful. I would like to have that car. And your mind registers it for a second. And then the next 3 days, you see that same red car everywhere. In white, you see it in blue, there it is in black. You're like, wow, it's everywhere. Those cars must be spreading across the nation all of a sudden. No, they've been there the whole time. But you brought it to your attention that that's what you wanted. And that's the same thing, these affirmations. Think about another example when you get up in the morning, you're like, I want to surround myself with people who are really positive. And then all day long, all these positive things are happening around you. And then a couple negative people show up and you're like, I don't want that. But then you see a bunch of positive people and you're like, hey, what are you doing for lunch? These are like affirmations. These are putting things out there, words becoming something. This is the same thing that's going to happen from narrowing down your perfect client.
So recently you have these ice cream shops that you did. And one of the things that you did early on was to do a survey. Why don't you share with the audience an example of what you personally did for one of your own businesses?
Yeah, so these tactics that we're teaching you, I use them in any business that I run, open, or manage. So we did a survey to find out, what was our unique value position. So we sent out emails to our perfect clients, the ones that we had walking through, and we wanted to nail the first 20 because we really got relationship with them, but then survey all of them. And what we found was our unique value position What made us valuable, what our perfect clients loved about us was the experience. The product's good, correct? You know, that's there. It's got the good cookie. It's got the good ice cream. You can roll it in topping, smush it together, and you have this great ice cream sandwich. And it's amazing. And our Rockland community really embraced the store and told us how much they loved the store. But their constant feedback was the interaction with the employee.
The experiential.
So when you look at certain stores, we'll use like Macy's and Nordstrom's for an example. Macy's has good product, Nordstrom has good product, but somehow or another, one of the stores thrives more with their customer service and drives a little further their refund policies and how you can try things on and bring them back, and people love it. The same thing happens if you have two models. If there's two oil change places side by side, but one of them greets you with a smile and a free water and then walks you to your car and has somebody put the little mats in and wipes your windows down, you're going to go back for the service level. So the differentiating factor of your business could be small little niches that you do. But how do you know that without knowing what your perfect client wants?
Yeah,
So once again, the survey says, ask them what they want, then give it to them.
Yeah.
So find out who your perfect client is and then just ask them, where do you hang out on social media?
Yeah, I mean, you did this, and so because of that, right, the results that you got was that you were voted best ice cream shop in like 6 months
Yeah.
for the local area.
Yeah, first time ever someone had knocked off the big competitor because we really went out there and emailed. Guess what? Now our database is filled with our WOW clients. So when we say, hey, vote for us, they were like, absolutely, we'll vote for you. That's a great vote. We love going there. I ran into a dad and his daughter. They're like, we're on number 25. And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You put on no weight.
So as you personally started doing these surveys, but before that, you had learned and started seeing results for your clients. Like, I mean, you even told the story about a major client that was spending $200,000 and they didn't want to run the type of campaign you were. Why don't you share that story and what happened?
So in these larger campaigns, they come in there and they basically have an ad agency who had built something like, hey, this is what we want to present to the clients and show them this, and this is how we're going to launch it. Okay, we can try that. But this is what I would suggest doing before doing that. Let's do some case study to make sure that that's going to work. Let's ask the clients about this. Let's get involved with our clients, find out what they really want, then give it to them. And after the surveys came back, I realized the campaign that they had presented wasn't going to work for me. I wasn't going to get the results or the success level I needed because all of their customers were saying something different. And if that's what's happening, then throwing a marketing out there. So if you look at a marketing message, okay, so there's two things that could go wrong in marketing. You have the wrong message going to the right people. Or you've got the right message going to the wrong people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are the two failures that could happen. There's people that are all about, I want more energy. But then there's another side of that that says, I'm tired of being tired.
Yeah.
And you've got to position that message to them correctly. You can split test it. You can have two questions on your website. It says, looking for more energy, we have the key. Looking to start, are you tired of being tired? We have the key. And you hit the button on each one of them. They go to the same page for the same product. But if you don't find that out, if you just keep guessing in your marketing, then you're not going to narrow down to your perfect clients and you're going to spend a lot of money on marketing.
Yeah, you're going to waste a lot of money. It's like throwing darts without tips to a dartboard.
Yeah.
Right? You'll hit the dartboard, but it ain't going to stick.
Yeah, it's like my one of my mentors, Steve, always said, it's like putting money in a slot machine. And it's great when all of a sudden you hit it and all this money comes out and you're like, okay, let's reinvest it. And you never hit it again because it was a fluke one that scorched the earth and marketing went to everyone. And some of the key people saw it and came in and the rest of them saw it already. They're like, I'm not going back.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in marketing budgets and planning, if you don't have on your P&L a line item that says marketing, you need to have one.
Yeah.
Right. And you've got to have a budget because you've got to be able to out there in marketing. And if you're spending $1,000 or $2,000 or $10,000 or whatever the number is, and you're just not and just putting it out there on whatever without really knowing the ideal client, that's wasted money. I mean, it's like walking up to a fishing pond. You got two choices. You go to the pond that has a bass lure, but it's all trout. and you're throwing this bass lure out there, and you may get something, you may
caught a
snag
trout.
something, right? But what if you went there and you had power bait and you had, the
On a
fish eggs,
Castmaster.
yeah, or something like that, and in the trout pond, and now you're catching trout all the time. So when your money is going to the right efforts and focused on the right groups, you then can you can then get more bang for the dollar. I've seen so many businesses that waste money in marketing. And now the funny thing to that story you were talking about is the owner, after you did the survey, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to run because he was old school. He wanted to run the old way, right?
Yeah.
And so they tried that, and what happened?
Nothing.
It failed, right? And so then they brought you back and said, "Hey, okay, we want to try
Please
yours."
fix this.
Yeah, try.
Let's do your way and try it. And
After
then
they spent all this money, and then they did, and what were the results? What ended up happening?
we had great results, and we had to stop for a moment and tell them, it's like, you guys need to understand is that there's a lot of ways to be successful in marketing, and some cost more than the others.
Mhm.
But if you're really looking for the wow client, if you don't just want to fill your calendar with all this time wasting, because you can't get time back. What if you're that dentist and the whole place is just filled with people wanting healthy gum checkups? Then you're not making very much money. But if that same day service goes out and people are coming in with real problems, you're optimizing your profits each visit by actually doing more services for someone who needs you.
Sure.
So the marketing comes down to time. Everything in life comes down to time. When we say design your business to gain your life, it's so that what you used to have 60 clients coming through a day, you could now have done in 30.
Yeah, so let's talk about that real quick, because we've got a course that's coming up, and we teach a big part of this during the course, and a lot of other stuff. We get into systems and strategies and
Sales funnels, the whole
sales
thing.
funnels that will save you so much time, that really increases the bottom line, reduces stress, and finds your ideal client. And so if you go to designitcourse.com, you can get registered today, and because of you're hearing this on the show, we have a special discount. This is a $3,000 course that we sell through webinars and things of that nature, but because through the radio and some of the promotions that we do, we reserve certain VIP tickets and
For our listeners.
And if you want to take advantage of this event, we've got it coming up next weekend, the 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's a 3-day workshop, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But when you walk out of there, you're going to know your ideal client. You're going to know your sales funnel strategies. You're going to know about how to produce content quickly. You're going to know about how to create systems and hit goals very easy. We're going to show you some simple and easy ways. And so the code is
Design It 105.
Design It 105.
So you go through the page, take a look at all the testimonials, look at the thing, reserve a seat. So it's not this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's next weekend, the 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Yep.
Here in Roseville. And at the checkout page, so once you've gone through all the process, it's going to load up the cart, try to charge you $3,000, and you're going to put this little code in there, and it's going to waive your ticket for free.
Design It 105.
Now, that's for you and a guest. So if you're bringing a guest, have them walk through the same registration process or add them to the process, and use the code DESIGNIT105 to get a free ticket to spend the weekend with us learning how to work in your business and work on your business while making it thrive.
Yeah, so you want to work on your business. If you're inside your business doing everything, you have many hats as an owner, then you need to come to this course, because
Absolutely.
you're never going to be a master of one thing, and we can show you ways to do that where you're working on your business. There was an interview that was done with Richard Branson, and they asked him, you've got all these businesses and I've got a couple, but yet you got all of these. And he made the point that that's because he doesn't work in his business, he works on his business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that. And when it comes to marketing, there are tools, systems, things that you can do that will make that happen and create growth. Your bottom line increases, your customer base becomes your wow client, where you're having tremendous success. And we're going to show you how to do that.
And that's why we're on this station, too. We know that the people listening are our wow clients.
So we're going to go to commercial break. We'll be back here in a little bit on Money Talk 105.5 in the Now with Mike Driggers and Brandon Hintz.
Have you ever heard the statement, mindset is everything? I believe this statement to be true. If you're ready to grow in your business or you're trying to change things in your life, mindset is key. I'm Brandon Hintz, and I've helped thousands of my clients set their mindset in the right direction to allow them to achieve their goals and to make changes in their lives. You can have what you want. Let's stop the limiting beliefs that are holding you back with my help. Go to askbrandonforfree.com. That's askbrandonforfree.com.
Now back to In the Now with Brandon Hintz and Mike Driggers on Money 105.5's Money 2.0.
We're grooving. Welcome back. Money Talk 105.5 In the Now with Mike Driggers, Brandon Hintz. So we've been talking about perfect client and how to survey the perfect client to find your marketing messages and why it's important. What are some tips, additional tips on this that folks can implement right now? Like how could they go do a survey? What's the easiest way to go do that?
MailChimp.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. SurveyMonkey.
What?
There's all these monkeys out there. You could take SurveyMonkey and send out a free survey right now. They give you up to 2,000 people. You could go right in there. They already design it for you. They allow you to leave open boxes. You just go to surveymonkey.com and put your first survey together and find out what your clients love about you. Find out what value they've received from working with you. But first and foremost, download our Survey to Success document so you guys can find out key answers to the questions that you should be asking.
Yeah, you want to be able to, again, ask open-end questions. Don't make it a huge survey. People don't want 10, 20, 30. I looked at the one that Kaiser sent. It's cool. It was 2 pages, front and back.
Yeah.
And it's like little check boxes, but what are they really learning? I think, 3 questions that are open in are more powerful than all that stuff,
Yeah.
And I get it. They're trying to, in their minds, they're trying to simplify the process for me because I'm a busy individual, right? But I can answer 3 questions pretty well and they would probably get a lot out of it.
Especially if I like the service that you provide.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever your company does, I will take a moment to actually answer those questions for you. Now, all of us are sick of surveys. They're everywhere. So make them nice, simple. Like in the email doc, I'll tell you, hey, can you take a quick second to answer 2 questions for me?
Yeah.
That's it. I don't call it a survey. I don't push it out as a survey. It's just, can I ask you a few quick questions? Click here.
Which I think that's critical. Let's talk about that point. You don't call it a survey, right? Because people are so used to, I don't want to take a survey. I don't have time. Oh, I'll get to it later, right? People want to help people. And I do this in live events. Like I'll be sitting there and I'll talk and I say, do you mind handing me that water? And people will run and grab the water, yet I have a water bottle sitting right next to me.
That's mean.
And people will go and get the water that's right there by them and bring it to me. And I'm the reason I do that is I'm making a point because it's in our nature to help. And so if you ask, like how you presented, hey, do you mind doing me a favor? I have a couple questions I wanted to ask you, right? Boom, done.
Yeah, and I mean, even in some of these small practices, or if you're one-on-one based, I will call a client up and say, can I have lunch with you on Wednesday? Or I'll call them right there and say, hey, can I have 10 minutes of your time? I want to ask you a few questions. What kind of social media do you do?
Yeah.
Where do you hang out on the internet?
Yeah.
What type of things are you involved with online?
I think the point is it doesn't have to be difficult, right? It doesn't have to be hard for you to do this to find out information. And hey, being able to grab a cup of coffee with some of your clients, right? Or do something where, you have an event at your location or something where you can quickly ask 3 questions. I mean, make it fun, go all out, but don't make it hard because you'll never get it done.
Yeah.
Right. And you'd be surprised what you'll find. I can't tell you how many surveys I've done. And even, me, and I help people create books. And we're always surveying everything, right? We're surveying the covers, the names, the subtitles. We survey everything, and a lot of major authors don't do that, and they should. Tim Ferriss does it. I love how he came out with the 4-hour work week. He did a survey through paying for Google ads, PPC ads.
Yeah, find out who's clicking on which cover, which one enticed them by the title, And then that's the name of the book.
Yeah, and he was leading them to a capture page where he says, "Coming soon." The book is coming soon. Register. But he was using the ads as a way to see who clicked on the most, and that's how he came up with the 4-hour work week, and it killed it when it came out, right? So, surveys are important. Identifying your avatar, your ideal client. Who do you want to work with? Start looking who that is in your past clients, because the sales cycle is quicker. The time you spend, they're repeat business, right? If you have clients like that all the time, man, your business is going to explode.
Yeah, you're happy about it. Like, I know, just looking at my calendar while I'm sitting here, I'm so happy for my next appointment this afternoon, because I know it's going to be fun. A lot's going to get done. And that's my wow client. You guys on the radio, I look forward to being on here and just being able to jibber jabber all this stuff out to you guys, because I know you're going to take action with it.
Did you just say jibber jabber?
Jibber jabber.
Jibber jabber.
So, one, thank you guys. I mean, 100% the listener base and the social media base that's coming out of this, and the questions that you guys are sending out is amazing. And we have AskBrandonNow.com, where we want you guys to try to stump us with some stuff. Send us some questions that say, I'm experiencing this and I don't know how to get to here, or I've tried a survey this way and it didn't work, or how would you do this? Anything that you've got, send it in. Let's see if we can actually get something that's going to stop us from answering one.
Yeah, we're going to
I want to be able to say, I have no idea.
We're actually going to run a segment now called Stump the Chump, right? If you have a marketing issue and you need help in your marketing, go to either on Facebook, the Now Academy, or go to askbrandon.com. And
I'm sorry, Ask Brandon Now.
Oh, excuse me, askbrandonnow.com, and fill out the information of what you're dealing with, either on the Now Academy Facebook.
The social media is going to be your fastest response, because we're going to be seeing it pop up all over the place, because they tell you as soon as somebody's on there.
Yeah.
But either way, you just reach out with us some questions during the live show. Post some of them. We'll get back to you on them.
Yeah, we stream this live. I don't think a lot of folks know this is we actually stream this live every morning. So we'd love to have you put in your comments. But go there now, because every week we want to run a program. Part of our program is called Stump the Chump, right? Give us a problem that you're having in your marketing, and let us help you. And we'll let you know when we're going to talk about it. So take advantage of that. So today was a great show. I think, the biggest thing that I always, even sitting here listening to you, even though we train and do all this, you always learn something new, right? And I think the one thing I got out of it was the simplicity, is keeping it simple. Because I've done, I do surveys, but I don't really ask those open-ended questions on some stuff. I say pick one of the three.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm going to do, and even for our radio show, what an idea. Why don't I ask the audience a survey of like, hey, what questions should I ask the guest that we're going to be interviewing?
Because usually we're lining up with them and doing a pre-recorded, hey,
Yeah.
what kind of questions you want me to ask?
Yeah.
Could I ask this question? Because a lot of these celebrities, you've got to be very careful on what you throw out there, and they want to have pre-set questions.
Yeah. So maybe we'll survey and do that. We'll start doing
can.
that in our social. That'd be fun. And have that out there. Any parting thoughts? Like, what questions did I not ask you that people need to know about this?
So the thing about the wow client, the question that you should have asked me is, why? Why not just take what comes in and disseminate who you like and who you don't like?
Yeah, why?
Because time.
Which is your biggest commodity. You can't buy it back.
If you have hourly appointments, how many can you actually do in a day? And what if 4 of them are not the right client? How do you fix that? By finding your wow client and going after them. So time is very important. That's why Design It says design your business, gain your life. So go to designitcourse.com, check it out, see if it's right for you. And if it's the course that's pulling towards you right now, just from what you've heard today, then use the code DesignIt105 to get a free ticket and come join us for the weekend.
Yeah, you'll walk away knowing exactly.
We'll deep dive into some survey and perfect client all on the first day even.
Yeah, and then your funnel, your sales funnel, like you'll know an online, offline sales funnel, your upsell, downsell, right? Which is the new way. If you're not using sales funnels in your marketing, you're going to be behind the gun. It's like the day when people started saying, if you don't have a website, you're not in business.
Yeah.
The new thing is if you don't have sales funnels,
on your website.
on your website, around your website, you're not in business.
And we're not just talking about the free consultation button.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the sign up for my newsletter.
Yeah.
We're actually one that filters and identifies your ideal client
And brings them through your unique value ladder. What
Yep.
are the stages you would love to see your clients go through in your business versus one appointment, then gone, one appointment, a second service, then gone? And maybe you are a one-time appointment thing. I've had customers like that. Well, then you've got to find out who they are, who they are as a perfect client, and then find all their friends just like them. So these things work in two different aspects. So new clients, repeat business, and then over and over new clients.
Yeah, and even in that case where the dentist, there's opportunity for upsells in the seat. Hey, why don't
Yeah.
we schedule a teeth cleaning as well? I noticed,
Yep.
this
Profit optimizers.
right. So yeah, and this is part of a magnet, which you're gonna, or the value ladder. You're gonna learn about the magnet, the tripwire, the profit optimizer, and big ticket and some other stuff we're gonna go through. But that's an example of an offline how you would lead somebody through a process. And when you know it, your staff can know it. And when everybody's on track, you all know what level this person's playing at.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for listening in today. It was an amazing show. I'm glad I was able to share that with you. Those of you that are interested in the weekend, go to clientcapturecourse.com. Use the promo code DESIGNIT105, and we hope to spend the weekend with you.
Yeah, designitcourse.com. Mike Driggers, Brandon Hintz on 105.5 Money Talk with In the Now. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.